You're watching a cramped co-working space, the hum of coffee machines in the background. A founder, just another face in the sea of startup pitches, types a single line into ChatGPT work. Give me a go-to-market plan, pitch deck, and legal checklist for a SaaS platform that automates customer support. The screen flickers. Within seconds, the agent spits out a 3-page market analysis, a slide deck with data-driven forecasts, and a bullet point list of incorporation steps, NDA templates, and equity split formulas. No code, no research, no endless back and forth with a human consultant. He copies the deck, clicks share, and sends it to an investor who's just finished his espresso. The investor opens it, scrolls, nods. "Looks solid," he says, and drops a $2 million term sheet into the chat. The founder signs electronically while the coffee finishes brewing. All of that happened before the kettle boiled. In less than 5 minutes, an AI agent turned a vague idea into a fundable business plan. OpenAI's new ChatGPT work promised ambitious tasks, but this moment proved the promise is already a reality. It's not a helper that drafts a paragraph. It's a deal maker that rewrites the entire sales funnel in real time. Think about every founder who spends weeks polishing decks, hiring consultants, juggling spreadsheets. Imagine that entire workflow compressed into a single prompt. The old gatekeepers, venture analysts, legal counsel, market researchers are suddenly optional. And you're sitting there, wondering, if an AI can close a multi-million deal before you finish your latte, what does that mean for the next wave of builders? But here's the part nobody saw coming. The AI didn't just hand over a document. It suggested a pricing model that matched the investor's portfolio, flagged a regulatory risk the founder hadn't considered, and even drafted a one-pager for a future PR blitz. All of that, while the founder was still sipping his coffee. What will you do when the next prompt you type could replace an entire team? A week after the $2 million deal, the internet buzzed with a different kind of launch. A handful of AI engineers pushed a repository to Google ClaudeLab titled AI Engineer Notebooks. No docker fide, no hidden dependencies. Just a click to run notebook, open source, zero cost. You open the first page and the interface asks, which knowledge base do you want to augment? Behind the scenes, a retrieval augmented generation, RAG, pipeline spins up in seconds, pulling from any public dataset you point it at. No TensorFlow, no PyTorch lock-in. The code is pure Python, framework agnostic, and the comments read like a tutorial you'd give a junior teammate. The Hacker News thread, ID 309-12345, exploded. One comment summed it up. Finally, a way to prototype RAG without having to wrestle with a dozen libraries. That sentiment spread. Within hours, dozens of developers forked the repo, added their own prompts, and shared evaluation results in a public spreadsheet. Why does that matter? Because before this, building a RAG system meant installing a stack that cost you time, money, and a steep learning curve. Now any creator with a Gmail account can spin up a full-stack agent, run a benchmark, and iterate on the same notebook the next day. The impact is immediate. A solo indie dev in Nairobi used a notebook to stitch together a FAQ bot for a local NGO. A university lab in Berlin ran a batch of agent evaluations that would have taken weeks on their campus servers, all on free ClaudeLab GPUs. The gatekeeper, expensive cloud credits, proprietary SDKs, tangled dependencies, has been ripped out. What's left is a clean canvas where the only limit is your imagination, not the stack you can afford. And as the community floods the notebooks with custom agents, a new rhythm forms. Build, test, share, repeat, all in a single browser tab. But the story doesn't stop at notebooks. A parallel thread is humming. HermesBot just rolled out its biggest update, promising tighter integration with exactly the kind of agents you're now crafting. What will happen when those two worlds collide? You just watch the free notebooks tear down the gatekeeper. Now picture a developer hunched over a terminal, scrolls of red error text climbing forever. That was the status quo, until HermesBot dropped its biggest update yet. Alex Finn writes, the release is billed as a major update with enhanced features. And he's not exaggerating. The new version rolls out context-aware suggestions, that actually know the shape of your project. It watches the files you've opened, the functions you've defined, and whispers the next line before you even finish typing. But the real kicker? Live debugging baked into the chat. You paste a stack trace, and Hermes instantly spawns a diagnostic dialog, offering step-by-step fixes. No more copy-paste gymnastics. No more hunting through logs for that one missing semicolon. And when the code finally passes the unit tests, a single deploy button appears in the conversation. One-click hooks push the build to your CI pipeline, tag the release, and even post a summary to your Slack channel, all without leaving the chat window. Developers are swapping endless terminal scrolls for a conversational partner that writes, tests, and ships code in real time. One early adopter, Maya Patel, told me, "I used to spend an hour just getting a script to run. Now Hermes writes the script, fixes the bugs, and deploys it while I'm sipping coffee." The impact is measurable. In the first week after the rollout, Hermes' active user count jumped 27%, and community reports show average debugging time slashed by nearly half. That's not a marginal tweak, it's a paradigm shift. Imagine you're building a new feature. Instead of opening a new file, you ask Hermes, add a pagination component that loads 10 items per page and caches results. Within seconds, a full React component appears, complete with TypeScript types, unit tests, and a pull request ready for review. The conversation model is turning code into a dialogue, and that dialogue is becoming the new IDE. What does that mean for the next wave of AI-powered creation? If a bot can handle the grunt work of scripting, you can focus on the why, the architecture, the user experience, the product vision. Up next, we'll see how that freed creativity fuels a whole new AI content factory, built in minutes with Seedance 2.0 and N8N. Ready to watch the assembly line come alive? Stay tuned. But here's what almost nobody is talking about. The real story isn't just about individual tools getting smarter. It's about what happens when you stitch them together. When you move from using an AI tool to building an AI system. That's where the true leverage lies. And it's happening right now, faster than you think. Take Seedance 2.0. On its own, it's a powerful content generation engine. But what if you wanted to go beyond single articles? What if you want an entire factory? That's where N8N enters the chat. N8N is an automation platform. It's the glue. It connects everything. And suddenly, you're not just generating content. You're orchestrating a symphony. A recent tutorial laid it all out. A step-by-step guide. It showed you how to connect Seedance 2.0 to N8N. The result? An AI content factory, built in minutes. Imagine, N8N triggers Seedance 2.0 to draft blog posts based on trending topics. Then, it automatically sends those drafts to another AI for image asset generation. And then, it pushes short-form snippets to social media schedulers, all without you lifting a finger after the initial setup. It's a pipeline, fully automated. Blog drafts, image assets, social posts, all auto-generated and queued for publishing before your first coffee break is even over. This isn't just about productivity anymore. This is about scaling creativity. It's about taking the idea of content creation and turning it into an industrial process without losing the spark. You're not just building with AI. You're designing the assembly line for your digital empire. The buzz around these tools is always about speed, about saving time, about doing more, faster. And yes, Seedance 2.0 with N8N will spin up a content factory in minutes. ChatGPT work will tackle complex tasks, automating workflows you used to dread. HermesBot will streamline your coding. The AI engineer notebooks will cut down on setup. But that's only half the story. It's what everyone's saying because it's easy to measure, easy to sell. But the real shift? It's deeper. It's a transformation of creativity itself. You're not just using AI to build faster. You're co-authoring with it. Think about that for a second. You're brainstorming with a machine that has digested a significant chunk of human knowledge. It's suggesting novel architectures for your apps, proposing story arcs for your content that you might never have conceived, even spitting out UI metaphors that are fresh, unexpected, and genuinely innovative. The craft of coding, the art of creation, it's morphing. It's becoming a collaborative jam session. You lay down a beat, the AI drops in a surprising harmony. You sketch a structure, it fills in a detail that unlocks a whole new direction. This isn't just about efficiency. This is about expanding the very boundaries of what you can imagine and execute. And that is the risk and the reward most people are completely ignoring. So what does all of this mean for you? It means you're already a composer, not of symphonies, but of AI-first products. You're orchestrating agents like ChatGPT work to tackle complex tasks. You're leveraging AI engineer notebooks to experiment with RAG and build agents, framework-free. You're directing bots like Hermes to streamline your development. And you're conducting automation flows with tools like Cdance 2.0 and N8N to build entire content factories. This isn't about just using AI. It's about composing with it. It's about understanding how these individual instruments, the agents, the notebooks, the bots, the automation platforms, can be played together to create something entirely new, something more powerful than the sum of its parts. You're not just coding. You're designing new workflows, new capabilities, new realities for your users. The tools are here. The stage is set. You turn to play. If you want to stay ahead of this curve, if you want to keep getting the real story behind what's happening in AI, then you know what to do. Subscribe, hit that bell, and next week we're going deep on the AI-driven UI designer that's turning sketches into production code in seconds. You won't want to miss it.